Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to the new topic. Today I bring with me a special topic that is about the Buddhist monk lifestyle, less but beautiful. The Buddhist monk lifestyle here, it means a life that based on the moderations and basic needs. Words of very simple is a deliberate practice of renunciations and spiritual liberation. It emphasizes a life of less material possessions. But this less is not a lack, but a conscious choice that creates space for a more beautiful, meaningful existence, centers on spiritual growth and compassion. Here's a breakdown of how this less but beautiful lifestyle is embodied. First is renunciations of worldly possessions. Second is focus on spiritual practice. Number 3, simplicities in daily life. Fourth is ethical conduct. And the last one is emphasis on inner peace. Now I would like to go to the details. At least I go through the 5 main ideas that I mentioned last moment. Renunciations of worldly possessions. As all you know, monks typically own very few possessions, often just thereof a bowl and a new basic tools. You know, the components to earn living for monks is very simple. It's not so much, and also no need to own all the stuff that's unnecessary. Saving their head symbolize detachments from worldly vanities and ego. The Buddhist monk not attached to the body and mind. They're ready to release everything regarding to them, you know, even the hairs or the beautifuls on the body, he also can release when he was the need to detach. This minimalist approach reduce attachments to material things, freeing up mental and emotional energies for spiritual pursuits. The Buddhist monk just live based on their basic needs, such as the 4 requisites like clothes, food, the home and medicine, and orders for the materials attached, and some is not necessary for the purpose of life. So he don't need, even he have like smartphone and all the material belongers, even he have, but he did not attach it. That is a life of moderations and basic needs on consumption. Okay, and second, focus on spiritual practice. The core aspects of the monk life is pursuit of enlightenment through meditation, study, and ethical conduct. Here it is clear the goals of the Buddhist monk is nibbana, or the enlightenment, or the freedom of mind, and the freedoms from all kinds of suffering. Dedicates significant time to practice. Thus cultivates mindfulness, wisdom, and compassion. Mindfulness is very important for the life of the monkhood, because the Buddhist monk required to be aware of every activities, and when have problem, he have to apply the wisdom to resolve the problem, and if the situations come normal, he can live his life with loving kindness and compassion. That is a simply like of the monkhood. This inverse focus follows for a deeper understanding of themselves and the natures of realities. The life of monk, he have to learn and practice to understand themselves, and to understand the cause and effects or the laws of the realities. Especially he live to practice to approach the states or the phenomena of impermanent suffering and unself. And that is the way he obtained to see the Dharma, such as to see the Buddha. And number three, simplicity in daily life. Monks often live in monasteries, at mosques or temple, relying on generosities of lay people for food and necessities. Here is clear that the monk they spend their life based on the earnings of lay people, and the lay people also live depends on the monk on the spiritual life. Their daily life, their daily routines are structured around meditation, study, and helping others. The duties of the monk, if we summarize, there are only two things to do. The first one is to study the teachings of the Buddha, including to experience the way of the Buddha, and also to get the right understandings of the world, and to see all the circumstances and the events of the societies are impermanent. Simplicities of their life, allow them to concentrate on their spiritual goals without distractions of a worldly life. You know, the Buddha also recommends the Buddhist monk to live this life fully, to live this life with mindfulness, and try to control their one minds, and not better to lose the mindfulness, because the mindfulness play very important role to lead the monk to go through the ways of the ends of the suffering. And number 4, ethical conduct. Buddhist monks adhere to a strict course of conduct, Vinaya, that emphasizes non-harming, truthfulness, and others ethical principle. Vinaya here, that is the Buddhist cause to protect the Buddhist monk and also to protect the lay people from not to do harming by speech and actions. This ethical framework guides their actions and help them cultivate positions qualities. It's a Buddhist monk with the cause of conduct. Here means Vinaya in Pali. It is the good way to conduct the qualities in speech and actions. And the Buddha also says Vinaya is the levels of concentrations, and the concentration is the levels of wisdom, and the wisdom is the levels of the freedom of minds, and the freedom from all kinds of suffering. And this life is full of sufferings, the Buddha said. And number 5 is also the last main point that I would cover in this topic. The topics of the Buddhist monk lifestyles, less but beautiful. That is imposes on inner peace. The ultimate goal of the monk life is to obtain liberation from suffering and cultivate inner peace. By simplifying their lives and focusing on spiritual practice, they try to achieve this inner peace and share it to others to cultivate the world peace. And as you know, the Buddhist monk lifestyle, less but beautiful, is very important to share with all of you, because nowadays sometimes we don't understand well on it. We make this world to become the always demand, and it's mean to our life that we make the material become unnecessary. And someday we will understand that we will feel that we don't want to own all the stuff. Especially our life, it just needs a basic needs. We no need to spend our life based on the want or based on the demand. And the more we require the unnecessary things for our life, it really mean that we waste those material things, and we force ourselves to work more, to work hard for that. And as you know, our life is limited. If we focus on find the material needs or the material want or the material demand for all life, we have no enough time to look back to ourselves, to understand who we are, to understand where we come from, and to understand where we are going, because we don't have enough time to sit and observe our mind. Or we don't have enough time to take care or to develop our spiritual life. Our life especially, it needs both. The material thing is for the convenience of our body. And all the second things, it is the kinds of inner peace that is for our mental life. It's for our real happiness. As the Buddha said, Nati Santi Parang Sukhang. It means that there is no any happiness that better than the inner peace. Inner peace here is mean Santi in Pali. And if we just spend our life to try to find the happiness outside, like the material things, like based on other people, or like in the future, for sure, according to the Buddha teaching, we cannot find our own happiness. Because happiness is really within. It's really inside our mind. So if you wish to propose and experience the real happiness, please live a life moderating the material things and don't become the desires people. Just be a basic needs, and then step by step redesign your own purpose of life. Especially don't try to attack the material thing, or don't want to own all the stuff you have. You know, sometimes you have to release some, yeah, and just keep the necessary thing that can make and match with your own purpose of life or your goals of life. Even this I share about a Buddhist monk lifestyle, less but beautiful. It sounds like just for the Buddhist monk, just for the renunciation life. But it really is for everyone. For the lady, for the Buddhist, and for the non-Buddhist. And you know, you have to show the world that the simply life is the qualities of life. Even it less, but it's still enough for us to find ourselves and to be experience our own life. So, because of time is limited, I just want to conclude that the Buddhist monk lifestyle, less but beautiful, is not about deprivations, but about creating the conditions for a more profound and beautiful existence through mindful renunciations and dedicated spiritual practice. They choose less in the material world to experience the more profound and beautiful life of the mind and spirit. Mind is a leader of the body. A breathing is led by mind, and a breathing existence in this world created by mind. So please be mindful and live this life fully. Namo Buddhaya.